Alright, so I'm going to try and explain this as best as I can here. I'm not extremely experienced with this game, but I'm going to still kind of show you. I have it set up for a two-player game. And I'm going to play back and forth two players for a little bit, and then I'm just going to cut to playing a single player, because essentially you're doing the same kind of things per player. I'm only doing two players to show you something specific about the dice action. So this setup that you're seeing here, this is how the rulebook suggests you set up the game for essentially your first couple plays. But they give you all sorts of alternative maps you could do, as well as designing your own, because obviously the tiles are movable. Okay, so you have this land here. You have an area here, here, and here. These areas get you cards. The cards that you get over in this area give you special powers and special abilities. Right, they have this little figure on it. The cards up at the top, these are your orders. So you're trying to make different goods and sell them. So these are the orders for the goods that you're trying to make and sell. And then you have cards over here with a little building on it. And these are just like little shops that you're making that are going to produce the goods you're trying to sell. You have a player board. And let me get a different color so I don't mess up the one I have there. You have a player board like this. This is where you keep all your resources. You can hold 6 of them. This is your scoring track here. This is the order of how you do things. You roll your dice, you place your dice, or you move your, sorry, you roll your dice, you move your person, you place your dice and take your actions. I don't know. I know how it works. I don't know what the symbols are. Anyway, this row here is for the buildings. If you're going to build these buildings, you can have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. All right, down here are your goods, your orders to produce items. So you have 5 different orders that you could do there. Likewise, these both, doesn't matter which row, but they both serve as places to put your special ability cards, which essentially is giving you like a worker who could do something special. Down here, this little middle area is where you store your finished goods to sell them and make money, or ship them and make money. And then down here is some of these special cards are permanent and they stay up here. The ones that aren't permanent, when they're fulfilled, you put them down underneath your board here. All right, and that's basically how the board looks. All right, so on your turn, you have 5 die, and you're going to take 2 of them and you're going to roll them. Actually, before you do that, you're going to place your little people. Each person's going to place their person somewhere randomly on the board. So I'll just put these people like this. And then what you can do is you're going to roll 2 die. So I rolled 2 die, and I rolled a 5 and a 1. So my options are to move my person 1 space or 5 spaces. So I can move them 1 space like that, or I can move them 1 space like that, or some combination of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. But you can't go on a tile twice. I couldn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I would have been on this tile twice and this tile twice, and you can't do that. So let's just say I move 1 space, and let's say I move over here where the special ability cards are. I use the 1 die, so that is done. Goes back to my supply. So my second die, I place it on the tile. My 5, I place it on the tile. And now I get to take 5 cards because I rolled a 5. So I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I look at them and I choose 1 card that I would want to keep for something to do. So this is an order. This is to be able to get a bunch of different cubes. You start off with 1 of each good up at the top here. This is to be able to fill my supply with 2 different types of goods. This one has to do with sales. This one is like you get more points at the end of the game for the bridges you build. This one lets you adjust your die roll up or down one. And since it's early in the game, and that could be very handy since I don't have any bridges built, I'm going to take this card. All right. This has a lock here, so that means it's a permanent card. It will always stay up in my area on my board. So then I would have to decide, well then, what do I want to give up? This is going to occupy either a space for my buildings or a space for my goods that I'm producing. And so I have to decide which one I'm going to lock up. And I don't know, I'm just going to put it up here for a building. And so it's going to take these two goods to have this ability, a white and a orange good. I forget what the goods are. It's like lace and fabric and, I don't know, gold and bulls or something. Obviously, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever. So I have two of those goods. I start off with one of each good, so I do have a white and an orange. So I'm going to put them on there. And now for my dies, my die that I roll, I can adjust it up or down one spot for my moving die, the one that I use to move, not the one that I put on the tile. That's a different special ability card. All right, so my guy moved. This die stays here, that 5 die. The reason the dies stay here is because if you ever have 2 dies adjacent to each other, if I had a 4 on this tile, then I would be able to build a bridge between these 2 tiles because I have a die here and I have a die here. The cost to build the bridge is the difference between the numbers. So a 5 and a 4, the difference is 1. I would need to pay 1 resource. I have 1 resource up here. I would just put it back in the supply and I would be able to have a bridge here. After my bridge was built, I would remove one of the 2 die and put it back in my supply. Now, why do you want to build bridges? Well, 2 things. They're points at the end of the game. And the other reason you might want to build a bridge is because it doesn't cost you a movement point to move between tiles. So if I had rolled this and it was a 4, and for whatever reason I wanted to get somewhere 5 spots away and I didn't have that special ability, well, this is a free move, and then I start from this point on, I start counting 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, to get me over there. So again, it means you don't have to spend a movement point. But you can spend a movement point, you just don't have to. And sometimes even though you have a bridge, you want to spend the movement point just because of the number you rolled and where you want to end up. And maybe a situation will come up where you'll see that further. So now it's the red person's turn. He takes his 2 die and he rolls them. And he rolled a 4 and a 5. So he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go to the same spot as the green person if he wanted to. And I will just do this just to show you something. So he uses his 5 for movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, he has a 4, so that means he can take 4 cards. Now, if the die you have is equal to or less than the die of the other player, you can replace their die with yours. So now he has removed the green die here. He takes the top 4 cards. He looks at them. He sees so here's an order for an item. This is the card that if you want to change the value of the die on the tile, you can move it up or down or 1 by 1. This is 2 points for bridges at the end of the game. All right, let's just say he's going to buy this. That's going to cost him. He puts it in his area. Let's say he'll put it where the workers or where the orders go. These go to the bottom of the pile. It costs him a white and an orange. White and an orange. And now at the end of the game, for any bridges he has built, he will get 2 points. All right, I'm not going to play the red person anymore. I'm just going to show you what you do now with just the green person. So it's the green person's turn. He takes 2 die. He rolls them. He rolled a 6 and a 3. All right, so he only has 1 good up here. These 3 tiles get you goods. So he wants to get some goods. So, well, he does want to get goods, but he doesn't know which goods he wants, actually, because you need goods to fulfill orders. So maybe he might want a building so he could start making stuff. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He could make it. All right, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's over here. He used his 6. That goes back. The 3 goes on the tile. He gets 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. He looks okay. So he can build either one of these 2 buildings here. This is what it costs to build the building. This would cost him 2 orange and a purple. This would cost him 2 orange and a white. Or he could build this type of building, which essentially this produces orange goods, this produces the purple goods, and there's one that produces white goods. So that's 2. So he already has 1 purple. He has 1 purple there. So he's not going to want this one. So it's just a matter of preference, I guess. I'll just take the orange one. So these 2 are going to go back to the bottom of the deck. To build this tile, it's going to cost him 2 orange cubes and 1 purple one. This is a building card, so it's going to go in the building area. Now, if he wanted to, he could put his purple cube on the card and start building that building. Or he could just hold on to it and do it later because maybe he wants to use that cube for something else. So red player goes, green player goes, so now he's down to 4 die. He rolls 2. He has a 1 and a 4. He needs orange goods. There's an orange tile here. 1, 2, 3. All right, he can get there with 4 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so he used that die, but he can only get 1 orange cube because he has a 1 there. So does he want to do that? Because that means he'll have to go somewhere else first and then back here. He might not want to do that. So, but if he only uses 1, he can only go here to this tile, and he can't do anything if he goes there. All right, so he'll do it. He'll go there. He'll get 1 orange good. That will go in his shop. And the reason he's going to do that is because on his next turn, he's going to try and get some orders, and then after that, he can come back here. This gets you the orders for your shop. Red player goes, it's his turn again. He has 3 die. He rolls 2 of them. He has a 4 and a 1. He needs to get here. To get there, he would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if he does that, he's only going to be able to draw 1 card. The other option is to go 1 here and take 4. Well, he'll do that. He'll just go there and take 4 orange. Or, purple. 2. All right, so his thing's full, but even though his warehouse is full up there, you can switch things out. If I get orange cubes, I can get rid of purple and replace them with orange or whatever. Red player goes back to the green person. He rolls a 3 and a 5. He could go 1, 2, 3 to get back to the orange spot, which would get him 5 goods, but he would rather go and look at more cards. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's going to put his 5 here. He'll look at 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so he wants good. Oh my God. Okay, he wants something that produces orange. So somehow all the top ones happen to be white. So that is a waste. So these just go on the bottom. All right, I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen in the interest of videoing this. I don't want to waste time like that. All right, so he draws these 5. All right, he's looking for orange, so he's not going to take these 2. They're either +1 or +2 up in the side, and essentially that just determines a value for when you're selling the goods. These are all +1 goods, so it's not going to matter. So he's just going to take 1 of them. The rest of the cards go to the bottom. Now he has an order to fulfill. That's there. Also, he can put 1 of his purples here and 1 of his orange cubes there. He still needs 1 more orange cube to fulfill that order. Or not fulfill the order to build the shop. But once it's built, it's good. So red player goes, green player goes now. He rolls 2 die. He rolls a 3 and a 2. 1, 2 gets him here. The 3 gets him 3 orange cubes. 1, 2, 3. He has to get rid of 1, so he'll get rid of a purple. All right, so this orange cube fulfills the requirement for this building. So he's got his 3 cubes. It took 2 orange and a purple. That's done. These just go back to the supply. There's these little things that you place on top of the card to show that you've built it. So this is going to go back over there. All right. Now he has 2 orange to put on top of here to produce 2 orange goods. He has an order for orange. So these are going to go down to his fulfilled, or to his shop. The order has been fulfilled. This is going to go off to the side here next to this market tile. Market tile looks like this. It has all these spots. For a 2-player game, some of these spots are covered up, but this is going to determine payout. So he goes there. All right, red player's turn. It's green player's turn again. I'll show you something else. So he rolls the die, and he could go 1 or 4 spots. He's going to go 1 spot here, and this is a different type of a market. This is selling goods off overseas. Once somebody sells orange goods here, it's done. When somebody sells purple, it's done. White, it's done. So it's a one-use tile. There's 2 of them on the map. So what he's going to do is he used his 1 to move. So now he could sell up to 4 goods of one of these colors. So he's going to sell his 2 orange goods. The value he gets for them is the value of the die that's on it. Actually, you only could sell, can you sell 1 or 2? Let me check. All right, you can only sell 1. So he's just going to sell the 1 good orange commodity there. It's going to fill that up. He's going to get 4 points for that. So his marker goes up to the 4 spot here. All right, now the reason you might want to do that is because once you sell to a port, you can use from the stock over here, you can take a commodity good that you sold and add it to the price of other goods. Or you can take away the price of other goods. So if he wanted to, because he sold 1 good, he could take away 1 value of the orange items that build up here. You're going to have your purple, white, and orange items build up here. And this is going to determine the points you get or the money you get from this market. So he's producing orange goods. He wants orange goods to go up more right now. There's only essentially $1 for a good. But by going here, he could increase the value by 1, and you just do that by placing a cube on the card. And now essentially the orange goods are worth $2. And so he was here. So that's why he went to this port, to increase the cost of orange. Likewise, you could also decrease, whichever you want to do. Red player goes, green player goes again. He only has 1 die left. So that means he has to, he has a 2 die here, all right, a 1 and a 4. So the difference is 3. So he's going to take back 1 of these die. He's going to get rid of 3 goods. He's going to get rid of his 3 purple. And he's going to build a bridge here. And now to move between these 2 tiles doesn't cost him movement points. He has 2 die back. He rolls. He rolled 2 1s. All right. Well, he's going to go 1 spot here. And he's going to use a 1. It's the same as this. So he gets that die back. He's going to get 1 orange cube. That goes to his warehouse. It's his turn again. He rolls 2 die. He gets a 1 and a 5. 1, 2. All right. The other thing you can do, there's this boat that you can use. It costs you 3 movement points to get on the boat. 1, 2. So he could go 1, 2, and then on to the boat for 3 movement points, which would be 3, 4, 5, which would be his 5 die. And he could go to sail around to another tile. So let's just say he sails over to the building tile over here. He has the 1 left. The 1 is lower than the 3, so he's going to put the 1 there, take the 3 back, and he's going to get to look at 1 good card or 1 building card. All right, he'll be able to, if he fulfills this here, he'll be able to start producing white goods to sell white goods. So that goes up there. His turn again. Let's say red went. His turn. He rolls a 6 and a 3. 1, 2. All right, he's going to go 1, 2, 3 for the boat. All right, he rolled a 6 and a 3, so 3 on the boat's going to take him right there. That means now he has 6. He can get 6 cubes, so he's going to get... He only has room for 5, so he's going to take 5 orange cubes. Put those up in his warehouse. All right, red player goes. Green player's turn. He rolls. He rolls a 3 and a 1. 1, 2, 3 would get him up here. He'd use the 1, replace the 5 with a 1. He gets to draw an order. It's purple. He can't do purple goods, but maybe he'll get a purple building. So this is what you're doing. You're just going, and that's it. You're getting orders. So essentially, let's just say it's a little further. Let's say he got another orange 1. Okay, and so let's say he took the orange and he put it up here. And then he put his 2 orange cubes on the building to produce the good. He has the order, so they go into his supply. The 1 goes down over here. It's his turn, he rolls, and he ends up on the market tile. All right. The value of the orange goods is 3. There are 2 1-value orange cards, plus the orange cube, which means there's a value of 3 for the orange goods. So he's going to sell goods. How many goods can he sell? Well, it depends on what your die roll is. So let's say he had a 5. All right, he has 3 goods in his shop, so he can only sell 3 out of the 5 available. So 3 goods, and then he has 3 values. So that would be $9. But there's these bonus numbers on the tile as well. And the first person to sell goods, if they want to, can take one of these bonus numbers. So he's going to take the 4. So now it's going to be 4 plus the value of the goods, which is 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7, times the number of goods he's selling, 3. 7 times 3 is 21. He's going to get 21 points. He's going to leave one of his goods on the 4, saying the 4 bonus has been used, no one else can use it. And he would go up 21 points, which would take him to 25. And there goes the other one marker, 25 points. And so he sold that. After you make a sale, you have to reduce the value by either removing a cube or a card. He's just going to take the cube off. Now orange goods only sell for $2 an item, unless somebody else puts more cards out here. So that's what you're doing. You roll 2 die. You choose which die that you rolled. Do you want it to be your movement? Which die do you want it to be your actions that you take? And you go around getting goods, putting them into your buildings, producing them and selling them, getting special bonus cards and things like that. Hopefully that makes sense.